If you're thinking about moving to San Antonio and you were wondering how much it costs to actually live here, we're going to tell you all about that today, and we are going to get into it right now. Hey there, I'm Denise Ross with Keller Williams City View Realty here in San Antonio. If this is your first time to our channel and you are interested in all things San Antonio real estate, we tell you all about what it is like to live in, move to, eat, work, sleep, and play here in San Antonio. So be sure to subscribe and tap the little bell icon so that you're notified every time we post a new video. We are hearing from clients each and every day who are relocating and moving here to San Antonio or looking to buy, sell, or invest. And we would love to hear from you too. We absolutely love hearing from folks far and wide. So feel free to reach out, call us, text us, email, send a carrier pigeon, whatever works for you. We absolutely love hearing from you anytime. We never stop working for you and would love to help your move be much less stressful for you. Now we're going to get into actually what it costs to live here in San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, Texas is very affordable. In fact, it is much more affordable than many other U.S. cities at 14% lower cost of living than the national average and lower than even other Texas cities. It's 18% cheaper to live in San Antonio and Dallas and 11% less than living in Austin, just up the road. Some of the things that make Texas in general less expensive to live in than other states is the fact that we have no state income tax. So that is a huge windfall. If you're coming from a state that has a state income tax, you will be pleasantly surprised to see that we do not have a state income tax. However, one of the drawbacks of San Antonio is that the salaries on average are a little bit lower than the national average. So even though the cost of living is 14% lower than the national average, the salary is about 10% lower than national average. So just wanted to throw that out there and make sure you know all the facts. The topic about cost of living in San Antonio, Texas that we're going to get into is the cost of food. Now, you probably have noticed, as have I, that food prices and all prices have been going up everywhere. But the good news is the prices here in San Antonio are 17% lower than the national average. So I'm going to go through a few items on the grocery list and you can compare those to what the prices are in your area. These prices are from the local Texas grocery store chain, H-E-B. H-E-B is the greatest grocery store ever you will find when you get here. In fact, their motto is a play on their name, and it's "Here everything's better," and it is true. H-E-B is phenomenal. So it is definitely one of the perks to living in San Antonio, and it's in most of Texas. But anyway, I'm going to go through some of the prices. These are H-E-B prices. Bread. A loaf of bread is $1.93. A gallon of milk is $3.07. A dozen eggs, $2.51. And a bunch of bananas is $1.26. So one of the things that you may notice that is different when you get here to San Antonio is that there is no bag tax. I know in some of the other states they have a tax if you don't bring your own bags and you want to use the disposable bags or whatnot. We don't deal with any of that here in San Antonio. You get your bags when you can bring your own bags or you can use the bags they provide at the store, but there's no tax on it. So the next item that we're going to get into is the price of gasoline. And gasoline too, as I'm sure you've noticed when you go to the pump, is going up everywhere. But here in San Antonio, gas is on average 20% less than the national average. So when I filled up this morning, I paid $2.65 for regular unleaded. I know there's probably some other stations around town that are a few cents less than that, but that's what the average is here at the end of 2021. The other nice bonus that you will know here in San Antonio is that we don't have any toll roads. A lot of major cities have toll roads that you need to pay to get to where you need to go. We don't have any toll roads here in San Antonio, and there's only one that is even close, and it is like a bypass road that goes like around Austin. So you can get on it from a few miles out of San Antonio, about, I don't know, 20 miles or so. But that is the only one that is even close. The next item we're going to get into are utilities. So the good news is, once again, San Antonio comes in below national average and below other areas in Texas as far as utility expenses go. So you can expect to pay for your water, sewer, electricity, phone bill, internet, cable, all of those things, on average about 5% lower than other cities in Texas and about 6% lower than the national average for those expenses. Moving on to healthcare expenses. Healthcare is one of the top industries here in San Antonio, and we have great healthcare. And the good news is that, once again, San Antonio's cost of living, healthcare is coming in less than the national average and less than the rest of Texas. It's about 7% lower than other cities in the US on average, and about 2% lower than other areas in Texas. Last but not least, we're going to get into the price of housing here in San Antonio. And if you have been paying attention, you will not be surprised to see that, once again, San Antonio comes in lower than the national average, with the median home price at 17% lower than other cities on average in the US. The median home price here in San Antonio is $303,000. One thing I do want to warn you about, though, is our property taxes. Sometimes folks are surprised at the property tax bills that they see, or the property tax rates that they see when looking to buy a home here. But I do want to remind you that we do not have a state income tax. So if you're coming from a state where you're used to paying a state income tax, you probably will find that this still turns out to be a win for you. But on average, the property tax rates can be a little over 2% of your property value, just depending on the different jurisdictions that are able to levy tax on your property. So obviously, if you're in the city limits of San Antonio, your taxes are going to be a little bit higher than if you are just out in the county or in some of the other suburbs. And depending upon what school district you're in as well. So because we don't have a state income tax, property taxes is the only tax that funds our schools here in Texas. So that's why the rates tend to be a little bit higher, and sometimes folks are surprised. So if you have any questions about other things that you'd like me to cover regarding the cost of living, please post those in the comments below, and I will be happy to try to answer those for you. Otherwise, take a look at this video. If you like this one, you probably want to watch this one next. And I very much look forward to hearing from you. So reach out if we can make your move to San Antonio be less stressful.